Hello and welcome everyone, and thanks for chiming in. I'm your host, Boyer Bay, and this is Tricks and Tips for New Drivers Know Better, Do Better. So, I just wanted to chime in with you guys about a post that I just recently did. It was called Don't Jeopardize Your CDLs. So, I got about 25,000 views and a bunch of likes, saves, shares. To me, the video went viral for me because that's a lot of people. But I noticed that in my comment box, it was a lot of people saying, "Hey, that's why you got paper logs. That's why you got paper logs. That's why you got paper logs. That's why you got paper logs." So let me kind of get into it about it. So the video was about I had an issue going on with my ELD plug. It was damaged, so it needed to be replaced. So I told my boss about it as soon as I got in from a run, because that's when it stopped working. And so I told him about it. He lives about 5 minutes away. He says, "Hey, I'm going to come and take care of that. I'll be there up there in about 10 minutes. So I got out of the truck. I got in my car, went home. So I went back the next morning, and guess what? The same problem was going on. I called him. It's like 4:30 in the morning. I said, "Man, I got to make a run, man. What's going on with the ELD plug?" He says, "Oh, man, you know what? I didn't even get a chance to get up there and take care of it." I said, "Well, I'm not driving the truck." So he goes, "Yeah, you can just drive the truck and don't worry about it and this, that, and the other." I said, "No, I'm not driving, because it hooks to my phone. It connects to my phone." I said, "I'm not going to do it." So he goes, "All right, I'll come up there and take care of it." So he came up about 10 minutes and fixed it, and I was on my way that morning. But the point is that if you ask your company or your boss to fix their equipment and they don't, and it's a chance that you can get caught up out here by DOT for some type of reason, when it comes to not having equipment that's working correctly, then that's on you. So I'm not going to take chances about my CDLs. I'm not going to take chances about equipment that doesn't work correctly. I'm not, when it comes to any of that type of stuff. Now, if I'm an owner operator, that's on me. I need to take care of that ASAP, whatever. Whoa, 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 whoa. But if I'm working for a company and they don't fix their equipment, guess what? I'm not driving that truck. It's not going to happen. So, for those that was in the comments saying, "Oh, you got paper logs, you could just drive anyway, don't even worry about it." Well, see, what happens is when you start opening up the door to small stuff, when it comes to the big stuff, they're really not going to get to it. So, most companies, when their trucks break down out here on the road or whatever, and they're a nice distance from their own terminal or whatever, a lot of times they don't want you to go to TA. They don't want you to go Loves or Pilots or whatever and get them trucks fixed, because they're going to get charged the arm and the leg. So they're trying to save money. And guess what? They're trying to save money at the cost of your survival out here. Guess what? Here, I'm gonna give you a favorite line that they always go. "Hey, pick up this one last load, drop it, and then come to the yard and we'll fix your truck." Well, you might not make it back to the yard because you knew something was wrong with your truck, and now you've ran your truck into a ditch, or you couldn't stop because your brakes or your steering was whack or any of that. And now guess what? You don't even make it back to the yard. You don't even make it home. But you knew all the time. You knew the whole time that you had an issue going on. So you hold these companies accountable to fixing whatever is going on with your truck. You got to do it. Because once you start slipping and sliding about that type of stuff, they're going to say, "Oh, well, you didn't complain about that before, and you didn't complain about this before." And you know what I'm saying? They're going to try to make it seem like, it's not a big deal. Guess what? You're the driver of that truck. It's a big deal. You want to make it home to your family? It's a big deal. You know, you want to make it home safely, it's a big deal. You want to make sure that you don't unalive somebody out here or crash into a ditch or crash out, it's a big deal. You know, a lot of drivers don't make it home and they know that they got issues going on, but they're trying to make that one last mile. They're trying to make those last little few dollars before they take the truck in because they know that the truck might be down or whatever, this have you. They don't have another truck to put you in. Guess what? That might be your last load. So the fact is, I know I got paper logs. I could have just used paper logs and just, jumped in the truck and said, well, okay, you didn't fix it. I'm going to drive it. I'm not opening the door for that. I'm not going to open the door for that. When I know that there's an issue going on with my truck, I don't care what it is. It could be my ELD. It could be my steer tire. It could be my fuel tank is not working correctly. My steering is off, whatever. I'm not going to jeopardize that because I don't know how bad it is. I'm not a mechanic. I can kind of, veer and kind of think about it and say, okay, well, it could be this or it could be that. But the final decision is not me because it takes a mechanic to really know what's going on with the truck. So I'm not going to take that chances. That's not my expertise. When I know that something is not right on my truck, my steering, my brakes. I had talked about my brakes the other day. You know what I'm saying? And come to find out, I needed parts replaced on my brakes. So that was an issue, and it could have became worse than that. Say I would have hit a slick spot, or I was trying to stop and I was on wet pavement. It could have been disastrous. Me knowing the whole time that I had an issue going on, but I'm still out here driving the truck like, oh, willy-nilly. Oh, like, okay, you know what, So I'm just saying, man, you got to hold these companies accountable. If you got issues going on with your truck, I don't care how small it is, how big it is, get that shit fixed, man. Because if you don't tell them, or you do tell them, and then you don't make them stick to what it is that the problem is, then they'll just blow it off at the cost of your survival out here. So just keep that in mind and continue to keep making wise decisions and keep your head on the swivel, and let's continuously keep getting this money. All right? Peace out.